the World Championships on Sunday as both athletes completed their own redemption stories. Hughes, who clocked 9.88 seconds to win bronze, said, "My heart is full with emotions. I'm just super grateful." Their achievements took Great Britain's medal tally to 3 at these World Championships following Saturday's mixed 4x400 meter relay silver. That's the sports for you. I am your presenter Maxine Entwine, thanking you for joining us.
After this commercial break, international news will be next on this station.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
On the international scene, one of the world's longest-serving prime ministers has handed over power to his son. But the first transition of power in Cambodia in nearly 40 years is unlikely to mean any change in policy. Al Jazeera's Tony Cheng has more.
Despite international condemnation that the election in July was neither free nor fair, the King maintained he had faith in his new government.
I strongly believe that the new mandate government will receive the confidence from the Parliament and will fulfil duties in accordance with the policy to continue to push for economic growth and lift the livelihood of people.
But this Parliament will see a shift in power, not from one party to another, but from father to son. The first order of business is a vote of confidence in the new Prime Minister, and with 120 of 125 seats in the hands of the Cambodian People's Party, the CPP, the result is in no doubt. Hun Manet has been groomed for the top job for several years. He took a noticeably high-profile role in campaigning during the last election race, although he remained quiet about his plans for the new role. Educated in the US and UK and a fluent English speaker, Hun Manet may look more presentable than his father, who grew up as a fighter in the jungles of Cambodia and Vietnam. But those expecting a change in policy are likely to be disappointed.
His way of thinking is not different from his father's, but he has more capabilities than his father. He is more presentable on the international stage, and he is seen as untarnished.
That transition has already started. Just last week, Hun Manet was presented to China's Foreign Minister, Wang Yi, when he visited Phnom Penh. The smiles suggest that Cambodia's powerful allies expect friendly relations to continue, like father, like son.
Staying in touch with what happens in the region means you're staying with Triple N. Congratulations on making the perfect choice.
If you're looking to improve or maintain your health, look no further. We have a general practitioner right here on Main Street Sates in the Kwezi. Dr. Guerra, a gynecologist and surgeon who specializes in women's health. She offers lab tests, blood, pap smears, prostate cancer, and stool tests. Consultation for pregnant women from beginning to end. Surgeries, which includes hysterectomy, tying of tubes, vaginal shrinking. You can also call for an appointment at 423-3352 or our landline at 444-4272.
Welcome back to Regional Developments. In the Bahamas, Clinical Director on the island of Grand Bahama, Dr. Stacey Bevins-Lang, warns the public of leptospirosis. We get more in this report.
Clinical Director at the Community Health Services, Dr. Stacey Bevins-Lang, is advising the public to be mindful about leptospirosis, a relatively rare bacterial infection that can pass from animals to humans when a break in the skin comes in contact with water or soil where infected animal urine is present.
With all of the rain that we've been having and areas flooding, we have to be mindful there's a lot of rats around. So we encourage persons to when you're going to use canned goods, things that have been stored in warehouses, because that's where the rats would normally go. Before you open your rice packages and stuff, check to make sure they're still intact, the package is still intact.
Lang says the symptoms are very common and can be mistaken for other diseases, but notes that the disease is avoidable and treatable.
If you have to go out in flooded areas, make sure you wear boots or long protective clothing. Maintain good hygiene, and in your home space, make sure it's clean. If you have any symptoms, then you definitely seek medical attention.
This wraps up the luncheon edition of news as produced by Triple N for today, Monday, August 21st, 2023. The luncheon edition came to you through the auspices of Flow.
I tell them save good energy and flow, Flow Internet is the best. And I say sign up, bundle up, stay connected and drink to them. Half of 7 every month a month. Baddest deal everything we bought. On the time with Flow, everything to them. Good service make it stick to us. Flow Internet is the best, I go tell you I swear.
Flow Internet is the best. Sign up now for a chance to win a laptop with free service for 1 year. Add a new postpaid plan and get half off that bill every month. Plus a TCL smartphone for only $149 and a chance to spin and win big with Flow.
Good energy and flow, Flow Internet is the best.
To recap the headlines, locally, UNDP lends helping hand. Regionally in the Bahamas, doctor warns about rare infection. Internationally, Prime Minister Hun Sen hands over power to his son. And in sports, defending champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Shericka Jackson and Julian Alfred all turned in impressive opening runs. I am your presenter, Don Ezra Francois. Thank you for joining us.
You have been listening to the lunchtime edition of news. Our next major news is at 5 p.m. Remember to join us then.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, all those who have the opportunity to listen to us on the internet, Real FM 91.9, YouTube, and Facebook. Welcome to our program. And the interesting thing of our program, you can pick up the telephone and call immediately. You can either want to start a bat, I want to start a bowl as soon as the program starts. We always pay special attention to what you have to say. This program is a lot about you. It gives you an opportunity to express yourself. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you swallow the grammar book or you're just an ordinary rustic like the host. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call, and you can speak about anything. We don't have a system here to take on sign language. So you must be able to speak. So once we could cipher out what you have to say, you are welcome. And you can punch. We encourage you to punch. The program is 1 hour. We like to have callers. Within that 1 hour, it's easy to accommodate 10 callers. So you just punch and say what you want to say. One of my friends, Theo Baltan, I noticed a lot of missed calls from him. And I was not in Sinner's Choice recently. So I knew he had something to say. Sorry for that. I knew he had something to say, so I engaged him. You see, I had him on the ground recently, asking him many questions, because I told you already he's a very moderate member of the National Democratic Congress. He was not able to answer my question. He was not able to defend the NDC. So I think this time he felt he had me. And he wanted me. And I want to know what was all this interest. He wanted to know if I'm going to speak about the priest playing mass. You see, Theo Baltan is not of the same religious inclination as me. And he felt that you can't avoid this one. You have to speak about it. So, obviously, I fear no subject matter would prefer to have let it lie. But I don't mind speaking about it. The Catholic Church had a lot of schism, from day one. You have individuals who've been challenging the dogma and the philosophy and the word of the Pope in the church. Even today, the church had a visit for some of the Lutherans, because they say it's one holy and apostolic church. And the Catholics see almost all Christians who not in uniformity with that of the Holy Apostolic Church as lapsed Catholics. So they say, our brothers and sisters. So I said to him, Father John Paul, I think, playing jab is nothing unusual. John Paul always played mass. Paul, Father Gerard Paul. Gerard Paul always played mass. Obviously, a number of Catholics might be quiet on that. They don't want him to play mass. They don't want him to play jab in particular. Particularly, you have a shortage of priests, and they would have expect him to be in the church carnival Monday and Tuesday, holding mass. You know, but he ran away and he played mass. And it's interesting, you know, I would have liked to hear his defense and his arguments and his justification and his rationale. Nothing is wrong. If carnival is not wrong, then Gerard Paul is not wrong to play mass, because carnival is not wrong. But one might say it's like a police abandon the police post on carnival, they are going to play jab. Commissioner of police might either looking for him, ask, are you on holiday? Why you didn't come to work? You're going to play jab. So maybe Gerard was not expected to keep mass on that day. But as I say again, nothing is wrong with him playing mass, because a number of Catholics believe nothing is wrong with carnival. A couple years ago, if you could remember, we had a number of young people from the church that decided to sing calypso. They did not agree with the quality of the lyrics, and they decided to start a tent and sing calypso. I believe this gentleman, Crocketer, who is now a deacon, and Titus and others, was part of that group. They started to sing calypso. So by the time the third year comes, some of them lyrics come worse than those lyrics they was protesting against, because they want to sing, get the queen. They want to get the crown. My brother in Trinidad, he said, wait, Dorothy, wait, Dorothy, wait. But some of them couldn't let Dorothy wait. They want to jump on Dorothy back. They forget, they go there to change the lyrics. So Gerard Paul playing jab, nothing is wrong with that, because Catholics don't believe carnival is wrong. They believe nothing is wrong with carnival. And you know how carnival started. You go on a 40-day fast, you deny yourself, so the 2 days before you let go, you eat meat, you enjoy yourself, because you know for the next 40 days you would not be partaking in such activities. The question is whether it is prudent. You see, John Galt used to teach. John Galt was a teacher. One Saturday, John Galt fighting for tickets. He was a big, strong young man in Grenville Cinema. And in those days, they always start selling tickets after the music for the movie start. If they sold ticket half an hour before, there'll be no fights. But sometimes establishment like the fights too. So they would start selling ticket a few minutes before the show starts. and the survival of the fittest. Some of them would be fighting for ticket. And John Galt used to be fighting for ticket. This Saturday he's fighting for ticket. And the next Saturday, John Galt is a teacher. The next Monday morning. And one of the young boys that was in the school said, you can't fight for ticket today because you're a teacher. Last week you could have fight for ticket. But this week you can't fight for ticket. So let me go and buy your ticket for you. But this young student had to fight for ticket too. So the teacher did not give him his money to buy the ticket. But he had to wait almost for the last to go and buy his ticket. He was not wrong, but he was being prudent. He was a teacher. So while in the school, he was telling children, queue up. Don't fight to go in the talk shop. Line up properly. So then he could not have gone and fight for ticket. Nothing was wrong with it, but he was being prudent. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre,
yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, it is about the priest, player. Master, I don't have no problem with that because the same book they just read it, what they call the Bible. He don't say nothing bad about it because he say all have sinned. I think that he say all have sinned and fall short of the glory. He say there is none that do it good, no, not one. So who condemn him? They don't go for themselves. So it amazes me to see some people going on, say trying to win souls and all that thing for people and tell people they're sinner. When the same book come back and tell them all have sinned and fall short, there is none that do it good, no, not one. If any man say you have sinned, he's a liar and it's that. So if, when the same book can tell that, and why people are going wrong to say going cool, say going and trying to see the come these people when they were good for themselves. But concerning the guy last, he was always challenge you, but the only one defender playing Mr. That's always called him. He mentioned something, I think it was Thursday, the last program day, where the Prime Minister was addressed by the opposition leader concerning, I think, John T. death or some kind of thing, so for get international help and he was condemned and saying he get $200,000 from. He must be careful when people make guy. I realize Gideon was giving things to say because the person they don't put themselves the guy know he are nothing to pay figure lawsuit. If they take him to court now for to substantiate the claim, and no he can't substantiate that because he don't know. So how they tell him he must be very careful. I don't really attack him because he's an entertainer. But you'll be very careful what he's saying because he's saying that now if these documentaries come now and say well you have to present the facts, substantiate where you get a claim. That $200,000, he can't do it. So you must be very careful and where he taking it was got. I realize feeding him was, but maybe he's a loose guy, so just saying anything. But anyway and anyhow, you have to be careful with that. So take him, Mr. Please.
Yes, scholar. I think not even Deacon Mitchell could have presented evidence because the Prime Minister, the ex-Prime Minister Kit Mitchell, and a number of other people challenged Deacon Mitchell and say, bring out the cabinet conclusion. And Deacon was not able to present the cabinet conclusion. And yes, people correct to challenge the National Democratic Congress. You see, for the first time, the National Democratic Congress is being challenged. And over the next couple months or 2 years, you're going to see more people coming on social media and on radio and taking on the National Democratic Congress. I have said on many occasions, that is the only political party in Grenada that plan lies. They go in a lab. They go and sit down in a room among themselves and plan lies. They have to be doing that for the quality of lies that they tell is the lies in a pile. Normally, politicians, when confronted, sometimes say things to get away. They stretch the truth. They excite the truth. But I have not known politicians in Grenada to sit down and plan lie, except in the revolution. Maurice Bishop say, I can't remember his exact words, but the environment is not conducive for a revolution, so we go have to make it. Gary start with fire, so we go start with fire. So then some schools and other places had to burn down. But the National Democratic Congress sat down and planned lies. The quality of lies that they told was deceptive. It deceived a significant quantity of the population. And I've always said, if people lie to the police, I don't know sympathy for the police when you lie to them. The police always believe people lying. The police have been trained not to accept what you say readily. So if I go and give the police information, or when they finish, they say, on target, tell us the truth now. No. Even when police questioning police, they don't believe what they say. That is how the police is cultured and made. So if the National Democratic Congress lied to the police and catch the police, I write to them. If they lied to teachers, teachers are the most educated people in Grenada. So if you lie to teachers and you hold them, well, you're lucky. If you lie for senior public officers and you get away with it, I'm not blaming you. But he lied for the elderly. He lied for the physically challenged. The National Democratic Congress lied for the people on contract. They lied for the most vulnerable people in the country. And that's wrong. That's not right. These are the people that political organizations normally claim they defended. And the National Democratic Congress have a history of telling lies to them. And I challenge anybody in Grenada to dispute that. There is a preponderance of evidence, overwhelming evidence, that would clearly state that. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon, brother. I'll still listen to you.
Always good to hear you, man. I feel good when I hear you.
I hear you talk about lies.
Yes.
You're telling me that you don't know a lie. Promise? Right, there's one. Let me tell you something. Mr. Pierre, the biggest lie ever told in this country is the NMP party. Each one of them come out and lie to the Ghanaian people. They tell them that the pension will cost $1.2 billion. That's the biggest lie I ever tell in this country, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, even the Prime Minister believes that. That's a lie. Then I promise that is a lie to tell to the Ghanaian people. Even the Prime Minister believes it. The Prime Minister say if it's $1.2 million, he go borrow money and pay the pension. And you talk about lies. You talk about lies, Mr. Pierre. The former Prime Minister of this country, this man sell the people's property for $300,000. And he take the rest, he put $150,000 in the treasury. And he take $150,000 and he share it.
Caller, this one, if you're going to continue saying it, tell us which people property is sold.
Sell the passport.
Caller, when Deacon was challenged, Deacon cannot present the evidence. So let Deacon present the evidence on that before you continue with it.
Mr. Pierre, let me tell you something. Any money you sell the Grenada property for, it has to be in the treasury. You can't take that to why you want it.
Caller, I want us to go on, be on right term. This is how the National Democratic Congress has misled a significant number of its people. That is why I tell you they're lying in pile. They sat down and they planned to tell lies. And more, you're going to find the National Democratic Congress are challenged on every plateau, social media, Twitter, Facebook.
Keep me just the biggest lie ever passed in this country.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you see, Dr. Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, Peter David, Emmeline Pierre, Miss Modest, these people are accustomed with criticism. You see, I'm very tolerant when you criticize them. These people are accustomed with criticism. And they set a high template. And now Deacon Mitchell and his crew have to work in that template. And individuals who questioning the actions of the National Democratic Congress, they will continue to do it. You will have more people continue to do it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
You know, fools die for the want of wisdom. Yeah. Mr. Pierre, that man talking about selling passport, the government put out a bulletin last week stating that they make $180-something million in the selling of passports since the program coming to being.
200 million in the first quarter.
Yeah, let the man get the facts, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to encourage him and discourage him on this one because Deacon couldn't supply the information. Yeah. Yes, the government claimed they sell over $200 million in the first quarter. And it means if all things go as they envisage, as they plan, as they project, they will get over 900 million from the sale of passport. So the government of Grenada don't have a money problem. They don't have a problem with money at all. This is why this is why it's so important to find out why is it they are so unjustified in denying individuals the 150. What is the necessity? Because it's not that the government don't have money. The government have money. The workers that have lost their job, the government is not, these people didn't lose their job because the economy was in trouble. Remember, when the NDC took over power, they met a pregnant treasury. They had money there. They were the ones who informed the public the sum of money they made there. They were shocked. And Gregory Bowen, and I understand, advocated in a worst case scenario. Even though the war in Ukraine break out, we would not have to fire anyone because the previous government was extremely concerned about unemployment. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
And how are you today?
Good.
Mr. Pierre, this man before this last caller, I love to hear him sing for his supper. Tell him continue singing for his supper. He know who lying. A liar know a liar. A thief know a thief. And the Bible says, those without sin cast the first stone. Tell him, when he dig in pit, dig two. He know who lying. He know everything. You know who sell this, who sell that? God knows.
Yeah.
You better be careful.
Yes,
have a blessed evening.
Yeah. I think he's just a strong supporter of the National Democratic Congress, and it's unfortunate that the Congress hiding. So you have one or two of the supporters that are trying to defend a group of leaders that hiding. The members of the Congress is hiding from the public. They went in Canada in the gala. People paid $250 for the gala. I understand they take out picture. When they forget to ask question, they say, oh, come back the next day to answer question. My partner was there because I gave him a number of questions. I had him discuss. And he said he would ask it. But he tell me well-dressed. And his partner, she well-dressed too. He said he couldn't disturb this gala to ask question. He said this Sunday when they come back, more pictures. But what is Deacon must understand, because he's a lawyer, about the laws of diminishing return. As he continues to have these galas, the laws of diminishing return would take place. And he will be cornered. And they're going to ask him questions. People are going to realize some of the pictures they take is waste of time. Because they buy the most expensive clothes to go in the first one. So the second set of pictures will make them look better. And then they're going to start to ask Deacon simple question. Why is it you fired 30 persons from Grand Bay Estate? Simple questions. Why is it you are sabotaging the source of industry? Because you're seriously reducing the pest management unit's ability to manage this killing insect? Why is it several members of your hierarchy are selling passports, are involved in organization that's selling passports? Do you not consider that as conflict of interest? Why did you close down marketing board and open the back door? Simple questions they might ask him. Because you see, the laws of diminishing return would start to take place in this gala. And Grenadian communists in Canada and America and England going to remember that they have to defend the proletariats. So very soon, even the press in Grenada, the favored press in Grenada, who is hiding from Deacon, and Deacon hiding from them, they themselves going to recognize the laws of diminishing return and start to ask questions to Deacon. So as I was saying, these things are going to happen. And my brother, I always welcome his discourse because I know he is doing his best to try to defend a political party that is difficult to defend. They themselves can't defend it. Mr. Tillman Thomas say it is rebalancing. And I don't think any of the journalists ask him what he understands by rebalancing. And that's a gentleman that went to prison during the revolution. And my brother said it is realignment. And somebody going to ask him, what is the justification? What is the rationale for restorative justice? And how does that, what is the rippling effect on the ground? And that is my biggest fear. When you make these policies and you entrench them, it plays out in the community. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good day. How are you doing?
Yes, brother, good. Long time I hear your culture.
No, don't base your mind because I see you every morning, every evening, and you know what I mean? Don't watch that. Or any case that the carnival is over here.
You play job?
And I wish everybody he came in for the carnival. I wish everybody on air and ground, wish everybody with chiefs.
You play job?
England, eh?
You play job?
No, I don't play that, man. I play a sweet, lovely shot in the match, man. And we was the best on top for clothes.
That is Tivoli shot me? Tivoli shot me?
Well, that's my mark.
That with Kennedy and them then?
No. I don't go and play that kind of dirty clothes on them. I play with the veterans.
You don't play with Kennedy?
No. Me play Kennedy and them, Papa, me.
Kennedy, dirty clothes they play with?
They kind of clothes on them, I mean, it didn't really count. I mean, it didn't so bright and thing, you know.
Okay.
And if there was judging point this year.
They coming last?
Yeah, the Tivoli veteran shot me. Either with comfort or St. John comfort.
So they don't judge? They didn't judge you, sir?
No, I'm not at all.
Why?
He didn't have nothing. I don't know.
They don't have money to give all you what?
Well, you got to ask this Spice Max. In any case, here talking about the Prime Minister saying no, a lot of people. And Mr. Pierre, to the COVID, who did not take the vaccine, a lot of people lost their job. And as for you to have your job, you have to go on and need the vaccine for you to keep your job. And the COVID, can you remember we was in a big lockdown? You check, we had to get pass to go in our own lands, to look over the lands and to see what taking place. Sometimes, and special people, they use it to give pass. You check, you know how much I run already from the police and them to the COVID because I did not want them to charge me $500. But the NDC was not in office, but the NNP was in office, and anybody who was late, you know what I mean, on the outside wherever, and they catch you, they charge you $500. this was not right because of the COVID lockdown. You check, so Mr. Pierre give jacket. More people go home and send them in the COVID-19.
What culture? The workers in Grand Bay Estate, why do you think the government send them out?
Well, I don't know how about Grand Bay because I do not base
culture. Marketing board workers, they close it down. And I understand they open back marketing board?
Well, they had us to close down marketing board and start everything over because it was somewhat a wrong thing. Mr. Pello, my stepfather died, said he died. And they to come and buy the growing apples, the Zabuka from us. He have a time. I used to call months come, months go, months come. I should call the office, the marketing board people, just for my deceased stepfather to get his check to go and cash it. They should take advantage on people. No, you come and buy my fruits. Come with your money. Come with your check. Now I mean, right? A check on my name, wrong name. They should make me for them a lot of trouble for the money.
So right now it's better culture? Is the marketing board buying now?
Yeah, they buying now.
So no problem for check again?
They buying.
So no problem for check again?
No. This one go be no, I don't stammer, so what that. This one go be, I mean, upgrading for the farmers and them. Now,
what's about cocoa? They buying cocoa this week, culture?
Mr. Pierre, I'm stop really them things on them. Just so because farmers have no, now I mean, discipline, and farmers have no respect for I because now I mean, and to the sake of I the person who used to let farmers know what they buy cocoa. So let they call the cocoa board and ask what they buy.
So you don't know if they're buying this sweet culture?
No.
You don't know what they're buying or not?
I don't know. Passing carrier in the old works and see if he marked up on the board.
Well, you passing there every morning, you see mark up on the board culture?
Mr. Pierre, you pulling my leg, you try to cut it down.
No culture. All I want to know if they're buying cocoa.
You have?
Cocoa? And you know Mr. Frank?
Yeah, well, pick it out.
Well, so they buying this week culture?
Well, you could stretch your cocoa. Stretch it and go and tell you, Jai.
No.
Well, don't put too much pressure and say the Prime Minister is lying.
Culture. Did the Prime Minister say as that the workers who on contract, they will make them permanent? Did he say that? Did he say that?
Yes, he's up here.
You see how you're laughing there? You know what is sad? You
have to put Mr. Pierre, you have to put things straight because if people don't qualify.
He said as soon as, and he said it's illegal and it's lawless, and the Prime Minister still putting people on contract. Culture, the Prime Minister say go rent to plane, and after the Prime Minister say plane had to get license, the Prime Minister don't know bike had to get license in the country.
Well, the former Prime Minister, they say.
I ain't talking about the former Prime Minister. I'm talking about this Prime Minister. You tell me not to say lying. This Prime Minister. You don't agree with us? Tell some lies.
Well, I can't tell
culture. You challenge me, culture. No. You don't agree that this Prime Minister does tell some lies? A little bit.
I do not be in the man office because everybody, you do it. Dr. Mitchell do it. But
culture, we're talking about Deacon Mitchell. Do you agree with the lies Deacon Mitchell telling the people in this country?
All right, lie and say about what Mr. Peno.
Then he's going to make them permanent. He's going to make them permanent with the stroke of a pen.
But Mr. P, a lot of them permanent already.
Permanently.
Because we had was to get things straight up. We had was to clean out the swamp.
That is why you fired 30 workers from Grand Bay Estate. You don't know about that culture?
No, Mr. Pierre.
Well, culture, when I'm speaking, you see how normally when I speak, I want you to challenge me. I'm hungry for challenge.
Well, I want you to challenge me too.
Right, so the 30 workers on culture.
Something just give me one.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't stammer.
I know you stammer and stop saying that you're using that as an excuse to get more time. Punch.
No, don't that.
Punch.
I think it was 2003. The former Prime Minister, he said that he will bring train and run here. And here, what our NMP friend said.
What is saying?
Good.
Culture. What the Prime Minister say he going to bring and run here?
The former Prime Minister, Dr. Kid Mitchell, train.
Culture. When you making statements like that, I could let you say it, because nobody can criticize Kit more than how they criticize him already. And Kit could take criticism. So you don't have to add to the quantity of lies the National Democratic Congress said.
NMP friend say, Culture man, it's true because she go reach to work only because
Okay, Culture. Thank you. And I always encourage, and sometimes I'm sorry for some of the political activists on the ground because they're really trying to defend a party that telling a lot of lies and hiding. They're hiding from the lies. And that's why I talk about Theo Baltan. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
I tell you that they listen Culture and the guy who have been calling and talking and say let's do this. Mr. Pierre, a purpose of government is to protect it. A government has to protect it. And if you have a pandemic in a country, you have to protect the people. Right? And what happened, many of the people that were sent home, either from tourist bills. Right?
Well, it's a fact. It wasn't from government. Government didn't send anybody home.
Didn't send anybody home.
Some of the people in St. George's University lost their job.
And who was the liar?
Dick Mitchell was a lawyer then.
He was the liar.
So Culture just slightly mix up that. You don't want to
He just tried to mix up that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Say knowledge is power. And I do be when you sit down and listen, people say things, and they know and they know what they say, know the truth. They cannot grow.
It's not easy to defend NDC. NDC line straight. It's not easy.
Even the supporters when they come,
No. It's not easy to defend NDC.
They can't defend what they say.
No.
And sometimes I always say to people, when a man gives you something to say, investigate what a man say is given to say, if it's true or not true. Because a man could say something about someone, and when you find yourself in trouble, and you say, that's what I say. You might go and say, I never tell you anything.
Caller, it's not easy to defend the National Democratic Congress.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. So sorry for Culture.
I remember in 2008, when the former Prime Minister Tilman Thomas was calling upon him to defend.
Yeah, but when scholars say you can't defend, these people cut down Belleville, Nutmeg, and Planbana, How are you going to defend that?
They can't defend that.
You can't
right? So they're trying to defend something that is impossible to defend.
Yeah.
Right? But they just call and tell, I don't want people to hear the voice, so they call and...
No, it's good to keep the discussion alive.
Sometimes I always say to people, stop making a more for yourself. Right? It is learn something, know the truth, get to know the truth. Right? And you want to come and say something, don't just come and lie on a registration about someone. Right? And then you ask them a question about the present Prime Minister. They change here, they talk about the Prime Minister before. They ask a question, yes or no. They run away from that.
Even those that was talking about age, now they want to extend the age because they realize they're getting old too.
And the same thing is to condemn the federal government, or you have people who retire working. It's the same thing. I always say 6 and half a dozen is not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Same thing you call.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, caller. It's difficult. And, you have... same thing, Theo Baltan tossed it for me, man. He said, come and tell me about the priest playing job. You see, I had Theo Baltan for a long while. He's a strong member of the National Democratic Congress. Very moderate, always hold discussion. Not like the kingpins and them that does hide. Theo Baltan doesn't hide. So he believed that I must say something about the priest playing job. And as I said already, Nothing is wrong with the priest playing job. The priests, but obviously I don't think it was prudent for him to play job. Particularly if he played with oil. Because we must make a call to our young people in Grenada to try to discontinue the practice of playing with oil. We know that we would not succeed overnight. It might take 5-6 years for us to succeed. But every parent, every medical practitioner, every medical personnel, every politician, go and investigate whether oil, the regular use of oil, could have negative health consequences on the body. Remember, these are young people. They're full of energy. They could be active in carnival for days. Yes, caller, welcome. Yeah, you always have to turn down the whatever instrument you're using. Please turn it down before you call us, because we get that terrible feedback. So we have to make that carrion call. They wouldn't hear us immediately. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you have to turn down whatever instrument you're using, turn down the volume before you call us. So if we could encourage the young men to discontinue the practice of putting oil on your body, and they have to hear our voices regularly. It may take 5-10 years of our calling and begging for a significant number of them to change. You can use charcoal and baby oil. And I believe any food grade oil would work. That would not have the negative consequences that waste, because oil is a waste. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Hi, brother, welcome.
Now, Culture Man is my very, very good friend. Anytime we meet in Grenville, we have to take a beer. Well, I think they must search the facts first before they come on radio. And a lot of people that come on radio, they must search the facts. The government of Kit Mitchell, Dr. Kit Mitchell, have not sent home one person because of COVID. Have not fired one person who didn't take the vaccine. There is no factor to prove that. There is nothing to prove that the government of Grenada fired anybody who didn't take vaccine or anything to do with COVID. There are companies that make their rulings and fire people or compel people to take the vaccine, and those who didn't take lost their job, but not NMP. My friend again, I don't know the gentleman, but he seems to know me, the man from Paradise that normally call you there, Mr. Pierre. Seems to don't have facts too. And if you want to support a political party, when the political party do something wrong, tell them they're wrong. When they're right, support their right. I don't like discussions with people who doesn't want to admit. You ask Culture Man about 5 questions there, and he don't know. He don't know. He don't doing that again. But you want to speak on behalf of a party. You can't speak if you don't have facts. If you don't know, I will call on the radio station to say that I hear something. I want to know whether it's true or not. And whether it's NMP or NDC, I want to know. And I search that fact. And if I get correct facts, I will speak it. But I'll call and say that I hear so-and-so. For instance, I heard the president of the Teachers Union say that he was told by teachers by September they want to introduce this teaching of homosexual in school. And he said that what he heard from his teachers.
They did not consult him. They didn't have information on it.
Right. He said what he heard, he wasn't feeling happy over it. And the GBN News said that the gentleman, the news tried to get in touch with the
Minister of Education.
Minister of Education.
He hiding.
And he did not answer.
He hiding.
So let us be honest with the thing, man. When if you want to give an MP files and there are things that an MP do what was wrong, and people give them files, and I sit back and accept the files. But you don't just come out and say things because you like a party. I will never do that.
But there's no question about it. On the radio, you always try to be objective.
Yeah,
playing the line with criticism.
That's what wrong, man. Wrong is wrong.
And I think that's one of the challenge the Congress have. Too much of the members are supporting the wrong deeds.
I mean, I have nothing against Mr. Deacon, but when Mr. Deacon said we was on a program with, I think it was Callister, and they asked him about the firing of people in Carriacou, and he said he think it's 1 or 2 persons that was fired. But he think it's 1 or 2 persons, and if nothing wrong in that, if they don't feel satisfied, they can go to the court. Now, it hurts me to hear Prime Minister telling workers that you, as the Prime Minister, should be defending workers. You can't tell a worker go to courts if they were wrongly fired. I could say it openly, whether NDC don't like it or what. I was very annoyed with hearing that statement coming from a Prime Minister. It doesn't look well. The Prime Minister should have been saying, okay, if anything was wrong, we should have an investigation and see. But for you to telling the worker, well, they fire you, go, and it's 2 or 3, meaning, well, the hell was that? I can't support
And you know, these workers are the poor workers, you know.
Exactly.
By the time they finish, take a lawyer, it makes no sense. Yeah. And that is the challenge we have with the NDC. The hostility.
I will say it in any forum I go, I will tell the Prime Minister that.
Yeah.
It is not good. And I do support it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes, scholar, and that's the challenge the National Democratic Congress have. The level of hostility, the dismissiveness. Even when you look at the main political activist language. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yesterday afternoon on the radio, Callister she had a press conference some time back, and she said she got in touch with the minister, and he said he knows nothing about that.
The Minister of Education?
Yeah, she said she got in touch with him. She see trouble to get in touch with him. When she do get in touch with him, he say he knows nothing about that.
Well, that means the teachers lie. Somebody have to be lying.
But
either the teachers lie or the minister lying. One of the two. Or Callister had all the things wrong.
Yeah, she got in touch with him because he was trying to get in touch with him and when she do get in touch with him, he says he knows nothing about that.
And maybe he don't know, and the Prime Minister must say,
well, it's a set of them doing what they want, you know. Them in no coordination in work.
Well, I thought scholar in education too. They should ask scholar. Maybe better she ask scholar. He have more time, maybe she ask scholar.
I think because this one could do this one doing that in that office, that one doing that in this office. You have no coordination in work, you know. So anything could happen.
We have to wait and see, but definitely the issue of trying to creep in this culture now in education is not in our interest.
That's the biggest demonstration they will see in their life. I could tell them that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I think it's a wake-up call for parents to understand that if your child go to school, you have to do your utmost to get your child educated. I think it's a real wake-up call in Grenada. And I've been appealing to parents, particularly the 70% of the parents, the children who exit school, 70% of the children who exit school. Out of every 100 children that go to school, 70 is not likely to meet the minimum requirement. And yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yes, sir. You know, looking at the education system today, Mr. Pierre, right? If we should roll back the hand of time a little bit, you would realize that there was a period in Grenada when children who left primary school at standard 5 was employable. During that period, when you left school at standard 5, you knew measurements, you knew maths, you knew compound interest, you knew simple interest, you knew how to add, how to multiply. You know the tables from 2 to 12 to the back of your hand. You was employable. I'll give you an example. Now in my community, we had a guy who left school, class 7 without school even a certificate. And he went to work in the pool in Wardrobe. And he came and he was trained by Dennis Clapperton. And he came from the Black and Tickle to the office making bill, then to the manager's desk, from Bush Grove to Grenville to Gov, managing TCN. Today, we have 70% of our children leaving school. Some with 1 or 2 certificates, they're not employable. It therefore means that we have a serious breakdown in the education system. Now, when the education system was challenged, or the colonial education system was challenged by Eric Gehry, look what he did. He started junior secondary schools to teach our children skills and technical education was introduced in school. And he built GSS, Boca, Happy Hill, Waltham, Hillsborough Secondary. So the dropouts in school was minimal because you could have left school at that time with a training in different skills. Different persons were sent on scholarship to Canada. And then we had the Technical and Vocational Institute. We had the wing. We had handicraft centers in primary school where teachers were sent to a college in St. Lucia to be trained in woodworking. So we had so apart from our academians, we had skilled personnel leaving school. You look at the early childhood education, right? When he said if children could start a course from 3 years, they could learn. And so from Nama McLeish in Mount Rich, throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, in all the society halls, there were preschools. So when we look at what this government wants to introduce in our school today, how would that develop the minds of our people? What this type of education would do to increase the level of employment and to make our people more employable in this country? I do not think we are going on the right road, and they're hiding and they're lying. That level of education is not the type of education we want in Grenada. And I say thumbs up to the president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, a very strong Catholic who grew up with the late Bishop Vincent Darius, and he would not accept that level of education in our curriculum. This is not the way we want to go. We want our people to be trained in marketable skills and to be good academians, and that's going to serve our country better. Have a good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, I don't think I could have said it better. Wish you another time you just call back and say the same thing again. Michael Battis would echo your sentiments. He is always on the issue of education, technical education. I think he was a product of that area. And now it seems as though the government is more preoccupied in making Grenada the gay center of the Caribbean. My only concern is in the short term and medium term, Grenadian would be less competitive on the job market. And these new teaching that they want to introduce is going to meet resistance. And it's going to continue to drop the level of education that we have. I appeal to women in particular, parents, make certain your children going to school put concentration on English language, mathematics and chemistry, physics and biology, music. Teach your children music. Grenada have over 500 Calypsonian. I don't think a few of them pass English. In addition to that, if they were able to speak Spanish, the Venezuela might have whining for jab. A lot of our artists would have been down in Venezuela and Mexico and Costa Rica making money because they could speak Spanish. Why can't we teach them French? We have VECO in Victoria and Guave. And it was not because of slavery. It was because of the French. And Carnival in Grenada, not because of slavery. It was because of the French. So teach our children French in school instead of bringing in this new alien culture that you're bringing in. I don't even care if you abandon cookery. Because when we children finish cook, they can cook wild meat. They can chip up and make cucumber or pickled cucumber. You know what they could cook. So what's about street food? Our children taught street food in school? No. So we have to try to do our utmost to make our children more competitive on the market. I like how you put it, market skills. We must do that. Culture, when we finish, you might get more crops sell in your land because your children could cook. So I think it's very important that Deacon understand he go in the wrong direction and he's telling a lot of lies and he's lying to the public and he's hiding. The National Democratic Congress have to realize that because the previous government was so on board, so open, so ready to meet the press, and they withstood serious criticism, that is the template that is set. You must walk in it. Whether you want to hide in gala or not, we're only waiting for the laws of diminishing return to start to take place in the galas. Yes, caller, welcome. And use the last caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. If the caller just will you just know that the minister said that he knows nothing about that. If that is so, then somebody from the radio station should be answering some questions, because I'm certain that GBN did say that on more than one occasion. The person who carried the news. So somebody should be answering some questions. For a station as GBN, which have government support and which government is shareholder of, to make a statement like that, somebody seems to be not doing their job properly.
Remember the head of the teachers union take issue with that, and he said teachers tell him. So it means the minister sleeping. I have no faith in this minister. The minister looks so domesticated and weak. I have no faith in it. But the government have to understand that if you are not putting up yourself for people to ask you questions, you're not answering questions, you're not volunteering information, and you have a policy that information is based upon need to know, you manufacturing speculation. Particularly when we believe we have empirical proof that the speculation is correct, we're going to ask you. And no $250 gala can save you. Because all we have to wait for the laws of diminishing return. The people in Canada and America, they will get fed up with taking a picture. And then they go start to ask you a question. So I want to strongly advise the government to change this monkey law about need to know. Every time you have a cabinet meeting, put yourself for press conferences. Have confidence in your ministers and let them go on programs and answer questions. Stop hiding. because some of the information we see in there seems unchallengeable. Like when we asking you about whether you're selling passport, when you go and hug Daniel Ortega and you go in the United Nations and speak, then you turn your back on the Haitians. How you close down marketing board and you open my back door. You fire 30 people from Grand Bay Estate. And then you have the situation with the pest management unit with Maribor workers. And the scary insect is spreading. I see it in Milan. And then you have a number of people that losing their job. You know? So I think you have to reach this stage where you answer questions. We're back with you tomorrow again between 12 and 1. And Deacon and Culture Man, we're coming again.